Hey guys, Shuckle King 87 back here with a team analysis for Season 5 of the NGBA. It's a Pokemon Draft League there's 10 of us this season, really good friends. So you might be wondering, I don't know, but it's been a while with the last upload I had. Leo's 18K sub-Discord League kind of fell apart after 4 or 5 games or so, and of course I was undefeated at that point, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is a little more of a informal league here with some friends, so what I wanted to build around initially, I had I think the 4th pick out of 10, so fairly high up there, but in the middle's meh, but getting one of the top picks is always what I prefer to go for. So the first pick I got is Zygarde 50%. Zygarde 50% is really cool with the ability to sweep a Dragon Dance, so with a speedy way of sweeping, or with a bulkier way with Coil. It can also run Choice Banded, 1,000 Arrows, not too much can resist that. Its Dragon Stab is not that great just because it has to rely on Outrage and such, but I can manage to get around that. I didn't even have to spam Dragon move for the most part, just because 1,000 Arrows hits just about everything really hard, especially with a Choice Band. You can also run defensive set. Special defense is very common. Even with a 4x ice weakness, you're going to be able to take hits pretty well if you're especially defensive. I know I'm going to definitely run weakness policy Zygarde at some point this season with Dragon Dance, and that's going to hopefully destroy somebody pretty bad. We'll see. Extreme speed is also really nice with the priority and such. So the next poke I wanted to go with Zygarde is obviously a very good fairy, and you want a pretty good steal just to get that typical core out there. So what better fairy is there in the second round than a Clefable? I would say Clefable is a pretty good second round pick. First round might be a little bit of a stretch just because of the power creep compared to 6th generation, and there's a ton of fairies out there, Tapu Fini, Koko, Wooloo. So Clefable, you can sit a little bit before you pick it, but Clefable is so nice. Its stats are mad, just 95, 73, 90 bulk, but just that combination is like just enough to take like 45% or so from strong moves, so you can continuously spam Wish Protect, or you can go for Soft Boils and just stay healthy like the entire match. And obviously Charms is a pretty okay ability, but Magic Guard and Unaware are two just great abilities on Clefable. It can pretty much run anything, physically defensive, especially defensive. It could be a sweeper, Cosmic Power scary, Calm Mind scary. It's a status absorber. It can take away status with Heal Bell. That's very nice. Healing Wish could be a possibility if I want a really hyper offensive team. Get Stealth Rocks as well. It pairs very well with Zygarde. Now, I should probably get a Steel type just to round out the core, but I figured I could wait a little bit on the Steel type that I wanted. So my next pick, I have a very scary, maybe the scariest physically defensive sweeper out there. I think one of the top especially offensive sweepers is Volcarona. Volcarona is a tier 2, which is very nice, especially because it's my Z captain. So only one poke on my team can use Z offensive moves. So this one is Volcarona, and with Fire Blast, it gets Psychic, Bug Buzz, Grass Mood, like a Energy Ball, or not Energy Ball, Giga Drain. Any of those combinations and pair with a Z move, you can pretty much take out whatever counter, quote-unquote counter, is supposed to be to Volcarona. Obviously the best at Quiver Dance. I can see myself running specs. I can see physically defensive with Flame Body. Can definitely work. It could be even a Choice Scarf with a U-turn. But pretty much I'm going to see myself running just Quiver Dance and hopefully just sweeping with anything. It's also nice with Zygarde, just because Zygarde is 4 times weak to Ice. Volcarona is not going to care about that. 4 times weak to Ice, it'll just set up on you. Volcarona is 4 times weak to Rock. Well, if you have that, then you're not going to have anything for Zygarde. You can Dragon Dance and just sweep you there. So I like the combination of the 4 times weak Mons that resist each other's move, having them on the same team. And speaking of another 4 times weak Mon, we got Mega Diancie. Man, I'm not sure how I got this in the 4th round. It's such a threat. Mega Sableye could have worked here too, but I do like the offensive prowess that Mega Diancie has. I also think Sableye was picked. which I didn't expect, but I was preferring Mega Diancie the whole draft anyway. I do have 2 fairies, but they act fairly, and they both have rocks, but they act differently enough. Mega Diancie with 160 special attack and attack. It is insane. Diamond Storm is also really nice with that 2 times 50% chance for 2+2 defense boost. Oh man, it can become really bulky then. Even with only base 50 HP, it's not going to take a ton of hits. It can definitely take enough though, especially with the +2 defense boost. It also got a Power Gem this generation, which is very nice rock special moves to spam, though I'm going to probably be using Diamond Storm more often enough, just because base 160, even uninvested, even with a minus nature, is still going to hit very hard with Diamond Storm, and the chance to get the +2 defense boost is something not to overlook. I can definitely run it as a sweeper with Rock Polish. It can get rocks. Substitute Psychic, not the biggest amount of coverage, but it has enough to do what it needs to do. And another 4 times weak mon, 4 times weak to steal. Okay, but Volcarona's going to take advantage of that. Zygarde's not going to care about a weak hidden power steal. And speaking of 4 times weak mons, we got our steel type here, my tier 3 and Fortress. Fortress is another rapid spinner. You want the support between Mega Diancie's Magic Bounce and Fortress's Rapid Spin. I feel like that's all the hazard support I really need to help out with Volcarona there, because you do need hazard support, at least some of it. I don't typically like to get a ton, usually 2 mons. I feel like it's good enough. So with Magic Bounce plus Rapid Spin, I should be in pretty good shape with hazards. And with Clefable having Magic Guard and Zygarde resisting rocks, not the end of the world. It gets all 3 hazards, well, not Sticky Web, but it gets T-Spikes and Spikes, which are both very nice. It gets Volt Switch for momentum, obviously Rapid Spin. Base 90 attack is not too bad. It can run Gyro Ball, it can run Earthquake, Heavy Slam. Not a whole lot of else offensively. Toxic is also a nice move, but you pretty much know what Fortress does. It's going to spin and die for the most part, or get up a hazard or 2 and then die. Unfortunately, Custap's not released, but is what it is there. Sturdy is also a very nice ability, coupled with a Magic Bounce from Diancie to hopefully keep that up, or just lead with it and get a couple layers of hazards at the beginning of the match. The next mon I have that I feel like is just a very nice for both offensive and defensive teams is Reuniclus. Reuniclus is nice just because I can go physically or especially defensive, coupled with Clefable, which can do the same thing, and they both have reliable recovery, which is great. It can be a Solfest to take hits if I needed to. It can sweep on its own with a physically defensive. It can go physically defensive Calm Mind, or Calm Mind plus Iron Defense, and run just Psychic, or if they have a Dark type, you can run Focus Blast or get Single Beam. So whatever coverage move that you need. You can also run Assault Vest with 4 attacks. I feel like Regenerator generally is not as good of an ability as Magic Guard on Reuniclus, but I could probably get away with running Regenerator most times and just run Magic Guard as my status absorber on Clefable. Or even Hazard shouldn't be that big of a deal on my team with Magic Guard, with Mega Diancie and Fortress as my hazard removers. So Regenerator can be okay, but Magic Guard is usually the preferred ability. So there I would say are like my 6 top core. I'm going to probably be bringing at least 4 or 5 of these pokes every single match. The rest of my picks are my lower tier mons, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be used at all. I want to make sure I draft all 11 mons could be viable to bring any week. So the next poke for tier 4 I have is Sneasel. And not gonna lie, the speed tier is very nice for Sneasel, 115. That usually could be like the top speed for most teams. But what's nice with Sneasel is it's one less answer out there for Zygarde. Because Bandit Ice Shard can do a ton of damage to Zygarde. Especially if it's weak, and it could probably kill it. But also a Dark Resist with Pursuit is really nice, especially with a poke I have coming up next. And getting rid of any potential problems for Reuniclus, the setup on it. Sword Stance is going to be hard just because of how little bulk that Sneasel has, but mainly you want to run Life Orb or a Choice Band and Knockoff plus Ice Shard plus Icicle Crash plus whatever fourth move you need. Can be a Poison Jab, can be a Low Kick, Shadow Claw even, probably not. I feel like all the coverage between Knockoff and Icicle Crash, you probably don't need to run that move. Brick Break can be nice if you know your opponent's going to run screens or such. Even Taunt could work. The next pick I have, another free pick, is Mienshao, which I believe is tier 3. But Mienshao is very nice just because it's a very fast Scarfer. So fast Scarfers with momentum is something I usually like to get one of. For the most part, I feel like U-Turn or a Volt Switch are not too needed on drafts, just because if you have good pokes and good like defensive switch-ins, you don't need to rely on momentum-grabbing moves like that. But it's certainly a plus to have U-Turn on this poke, as well as Reckless Adamant High Jump Kick. Phase 125 attack, that's going to destroy lives. You don't have a Ghost type, so just watch out for that. Regenerator's a nice ability, but I really prefer Reckless just to get the most out of High Jump Kick there. So High Jump Kick and U-Turn are the main draws to this poke. I believe Baton Pass is allowed as long as you don't pass speed, so I can definitely see myself running Baton Pass and Swords Dance or just Baton Pass substitute set. That can do a lot of damage there. The next poke I have to get my bulky water, because I don't have one yet, is Jellicent. Jellicent was a tier 4 poke, and it's very nice. You can also run even though base 70 defense isn't the greatest, just that high HP stat lets you to run very bulky defensive or especially defensive sets. Water Absorb is really nice to handle Volcarona's answers. For the most part, you should be able to get away with Jellicent and handling all of Volcarona's answers. You also have Scald, which is a very nice spammable attack to get burns and such. Has also another poke of reliable recovery. Also, Sneasel can pursue trap all the ghost types that could try to take advantage of Jellicent and such. It also has 85 special attack. It's high enough that it's not a setup fodder for pokes I want to try to set up on it. It also has Taunt to try to prevent that if that actually does happen. My tier 5, my next two picks are my tier 5 picks. One is in the tier and the other one's my last free pick. Garbodor is my tier 5 pick, just because I feel like it's very important to have a grounded poison type on all teams, so that way opponents can't just freely run Toxic Spikes without you having too big of an issue. I do have Mega Diancie to stop any poke that want to use Toxic Spikes initially, and Fortress is unaffected, and I have Reuniclus and even in Clefable to not care about Toxic Spikes, so it's not that big of a deal. The Garbodor I also really like this because of how defensive it can be with a Rocky Helmet. I'm going to probably run that whenever I run Garbodor and Aftermath. It's just a nice ability to get a ton of chip on a Pokemon if they feel like it's a very physical, powerful sweeper that could maybe overwhelm Clefable, because that definitely could be a thing. Clefable is not the bulkiest mon out there, even though it can take a ton of hits usually. So just getting a bunch of chip damage between Rocky Helmet and Aftermath and Garbodor, and Revenge Kill with, say, a Sneasel or a Mienshao can really do a lot of work for me. You can run also a lead with Weak Armor, so that raises speed by 2 instead of 1 this gen, so you can definitely get up a bunch of T-Spikes or Spikes at the beginning of a match. And I have enough offensive pressure to stop that, and I have Jellicent. Here's my Ghost Spin blocker. So at least you're going to have to defog those away if you don't want hazards anymore. So Garbodor I feel like it's just a solid spiker poke. And my last poke, just because ground types can definitely be an issue with this team, is Mega Diancie's weak to it. Volk doesn't want to take the ground hits. Fortress can take some ground hits, can take EQs pretty well. As well as Reuniclus, but I don't have a resistor and immunity to it on my team. So the last poke is not the most reliable ground switch in, I would say, just because it's not the most reliable bulky poke in general, but it's Vicable. I also do like having a slower speed poke on the team, even though Fortress provides it, but just having a slow, speedy offensive poke can make your opponent think twice. They think they're going to run a Trick Room on your team, and you can definitely counter him with Vicable can really abuse that with that base 145 special attack. Just run choice specs on this, it's gonna destroy lives. You got Bug Buzz, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, whatever hidden power you need, and that's really all you need. Energy Ball can hit a like steel ground types like Steelix. It can work on pretty well for stuff that resists bug and electric moves. You can also run Agility, Vikavolt. How much speed does it get up to? But base, when it gets to 203 plus Agility, you're gonna outspeed just about any non-Scarfer out there, even with just neutral nature speed, max speed. You're gonna outrun just about everything except for like Crobat or stuff that speedy. But you're probably gonna be doing decent damage to them anyway, and you're bulky enough to take one hit of anything. And rock shouldn't be that big of an issue for Vikavolt, so I hope this puts in a ton of work, but we'll see. But that's my draft. I should be getting my week 1 matchup pretty soon. So until then, I'll see you guys. Bye.